1.4.3. Multiply and divide decimals. When we multiply signed decimals, first we determine the sign of the product and then multiply as if the numbers were both positive. We multiply the numbers temporarily ignoring the decimal point, and then count the number of decimal points in the factors, and that sum tells us the number of decimal places in the product. Finally, we write the product with the appropriate sign. How to multiply decimals. Step 1. Determine the sign of the product. Step 2. Write in vertical format, lining up the numbers on the right. Multiply the numbers as if they were whole numbers, temporarily ignoring the decimal points. Step 3. Place the decimal point. The number of decimal places in the product is the sum of the number of decimal places in the factors. Step 4. Write the product with the appropriate sign. Example 1.36. Multiply. Open parenthesis, negative 3.9, closed parenthesis, multiplied by, open parenthesis, 4.075, closed parenthesis. Solution. Open parenthesis, negative 3.9, closed parenthesis, multiplied by, open parenthesis, 4.075, closed parenthesis. The signs are different. The product will be negative. Write in vertical format, lining up the numbers on the right. 4.075. Multiplied by, 3.9. Multiply. 4.075. Multiplied by, 3.9. 36,675. Plus, 12,225. Equals, 15.8925. Add the number of decimal places in the factors, 1, plus, 3. 4.075. Multiplied by, 3.9. 36,675. Plus, 12,225. Equals, 15.8925. Place the decimal point 4 places from the right. 4 places. Open parenthesis, negative 3.9, closed parenthesis. 1 place. Open parenthesis, 4.075, closed parenthesis. 3 places. The signs are the different, so the product is negative. Open parenthesis, negative 3.9, closed parenthesis, multiplied by, open parenthesis, 4.075, closed parenthesis, equals, negative, 15.8925. Try it 1.71. Multiply. Negative, 4.5, times, open parenthesis, 6.107, closed parenthesis. Try it 1.72. Multiply. Negative, 10.79, times, open parenthesis, 8.12, closed parenthesis. Often, especially in the sciences, you will multiply decimals by powers of 10, 10, 100, 1000, etc. If you multiply a few products on paper, you may notice a pattern relating the number of zeros in the power of 10 to number of decimal places. We move the decimal point to the right to get the product. How to multiply a decimal by a power of 10. Step 1. Move the decimal point to the right the same number of places as the number of zeros in the power of 10. Step 2. Add zeros at the end of the number as needed. Example 1.37. Multiply 5.63 by A. 10 B. 100 C. 1000. Solution. By looking at the number of zeros in the multiple of 10, we see the number of places we need to move the decimal to the right. A. 5.63 times, open parenthesis, 10, closed parenthesis. There is 1 zero in 10, so move the decimal point 1 place to the right. 5.63. 56.3. B. 5.63 times, open parenthesis, 100, closed parenthesis. There are 2 zeros in 100, so move the decimal point 2 places to the right. 5.63. 563. C. 5.63 times, open parenthesis, 1000, closed parenthesis. There are 3 zeros in 1000, so move the decimal point 3 place to the right. 5.63. A zero must be added to the end. 5630. Try it. 1.73. Multiply 2.58 by A. 10. B. 100. C. 1000. Try it. 1.74. Multiply 14.2 by A. 10. B. 100. C. 1000. Just as with multiplication, division of signed decimals is very much like dividing whole numbers. We just have to figure out where the decimal point must be placed and the sign of the quotient. When dividing signed decimals, first determine the sign of the quotient and then divide as if the numbers were both positive. Finally, write the quotient with the appropriate sign. We review the notation and vocabulary for division. A divided by B equals C. A is dividend. B is divisor. C is quotient. C. Quotient. B. Divisor. A. Dividend. We'll write the steps to take when dividing decimals for easy reference. How to divide decimals. Step 1. Determine the sign of the quotient. Step 2. Make the divisor a whole number by moving the decimal point all the way to the right. Move the decimal point in the dividend the same number of places, adding zeros as needed. Step 3. Divide. Place the decimal point in the quotient above the decimal point in the dividend. Step 4. Write the quotient with the appropriate sign. Example 1.38. Divide. Negative 25.65 divided by, open parenthesis, negative 0.06, closed parenthesis. Solution. Remember, you can move the decimals in the divisor and dividend because of the equivalent fractions property. Negative 25.65 divided by, open parenthesis, negative 0.06, closed parenthesis. The signs are the same. The quotient is positive. Make the divisor a whole number by moving the decimal point all the way to the right. Move the decimal point in the dividend the same number of places. 25.65 divided by 0.06. Divide. Place the decimal point in the quotient above the decimal point in the dividend. 2565.0 divided by 0.06. Minus 24. 16 minus 12. 45 minus 42. 30 minus 30. Quotient equals 427.5. Write the quotient with the appropriate sign. Negative 25.65 divided by, open parenthesis, negative 0.06, closed parenthesis, equals 427.5. Try it. 1.75. Divide. Negative 23.492 divided by, open parenthesis, negative 0.04, closed parenthesis. Try it. 1.76. Divide. Negative 4.11 divided by, open parenthesis, negative 0.12, closed parenthesis. 1.4.4. Convert decimals, fractions, and percents. In our work, it is often necessary to change the form of a number. We may have to change fractions to decimals or decimals to percent. We convert decimals into fractions by identifying the place value of the last, farthest right, digit. In the decimal 0.03, the 3 is in the hundredths place, so 100 is the denominator of the fraction equivalent to 0.03. 0.03 equals 3 over 100. The steps to take to convert a decimal to a fraction are summarized in the procedure box. How to convert a decimal to a proper fraction and a fraction to a decimal. Step 1. To convert a decimal to a proper fraction, determine the place value of the final digit. Step 2. Write the fraction. A. Numerator, the numbers to the right of the decimal point. B. Denominator, the place value corresponding to the final digit. Step 3. To convert a fraction to a decimal, divide the numerator of the fraction by the denominator of the fraction. Example 1.39. Write A. 0.374 as a fraction. B. -5/8 as a decimal. Solution. A. 0.374. Determine the place value of the final digit. 0.3 is tenths. 7 is hundredths. 4 is thousandths. Write the fraction for 0.374. The numerator is 374. The denominator is 1000. 374/1000. Simplify the fraction. 2.187 divided by 2.500. Divide out the common factors. 187/500. So, 0.374 equals 187/500. B. Since a fraction bar means division, we begin by writing the fraction 5/8 as 5 divided by 8. Now divide. 5.000 divided by 8. Minus 48. 20 minus 16. 40 minus 40. So, -5/8 equals -0.625. Try it 1.77. Write A. 0.234 as a fraction. B. -7/8 as a decimal. Try it 1.78. Write A. 0.024 as a fraction. B. -3/8 as a decimal. A percent is a ratio whose denominator is 100. Percent means per hundred. We use the percent symbol, percent, to show percent. Since a percent is a ratio, it can easily be expressed as a fraction. Percent means per 100, so the denominator of the fraction is 100. We then change the fraction to a decimal by dividing the numerator by the denominator. After doing this many times, you may see the pattern. To convert a percent number to a decimal number, we move the decimal point 2 places to the left. 6% equals 0.06. 78% equals 0.78. 2.7% equals 0.027. 135% equals 1.35. To convert a decimal to a percent, remember that percent means per hundred. If we change the decimal to a fraction whose denominator is 100, it is easy to change that fraction to a percent. After many conversions, you may recognize the pattern. To convert a decimal to a percent, we move the decimal point 2 places to the right and then add the percent sign. 0.05 equals 5%. 0.83 equals 83%. 1.05 equals 105%. 0.075 equals 7.5%. 0.3 equals 30%. How to convert a percent to a decimal and a decimal to a percent. Step 1. To convert a percent to a decimal, move the decimal point 2 places to the left after removing the percent sign. Step 2. To convert a decimal to a percent, move the decimal point 2 places to the right and then add the percent sign. Example 1.40. Convert each. A. Percent to a decimal, 62%, 135%, and 13.7%. B. Decimal to a percent, 0.51, 1.25, and 0.093. Solution. A. 62%, 135%, 13.7%. Move the decimal point 2 places to the left. 0.62, 1.35, 0.357. B. 0.51, 1.25, 0.093. Move the decimal point 2 places to the right. 51%, 125%, 9.3%. Try at 1.79. Convert each. A. Percent to a decimal, 9%, 87%, and 3.9%. B. Decimal to a percent, 0.17, 1.75, and 0.0825. Try at 1.80. Convert each. A. Percent to a decimal, 3%, 91%, and 8.3%. B. Decimal to a percent, 0.41, 2.25, and 0.0925.